Well, Red and Gold Summit just got more interesting for sure. That's coming up in 6 days, okay? San Ramon Fieldwork Brewing Company. We're all going to be out there. Dibs and I will take 2 to 4, and then we're kind enough from 4 to 6 to have the rest of the hosts come in, take a bunch of our time and our words and all that stuff. I'm kidding. We're just gonna talk it out. We're gonna debate. I think I have a good sense of what probably the first topic will be. But that's also kind of the point. The 49ers are moving on from Trey Lance because they're tired of their backup's backup being the lead story. They've got a football season to conduct, and they've got a really good football team. And this obsession with Trey Lance is obvious. I've sort of made the point, Dibs, coming off the top of the show. I didn't use the word blame or fault. It's not the media and the fans' fault that Trey Lance became such a focus. It's the 49ers' fault because they made him a big deal. They gave 3 years' worth of first-round draft capital to make him the future quarterback of the team, and they were wrong. So it's their fault. But in the end, to me, that's all this is. I don't think anybody hates Trey. I don't think anybody wants Trey out the building. I think what they want out of the building is the dynamic that has developed. And you all, our faithful listenership, you know it better than anyone. The 49ers cannot have this be the sound of their season every single week. Brock Purdy, he came up lame a little bit on that play. Okay, and Sam and Trey and Brandon and Sam and Trey and freak out and just third overall pick and racial conversations and all the stuff that's been going on. That's not how a football team wants to operate.
Think about the Warriors last year in terms of what was dogging them throughout the course of the season. It was Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. And it wasn't just us, it was in part them. Because what would happen when the Warriors were playing games, you saw Steph get frustrated, Clay get frustrated, Draymond quit on the play, and it all came back to the same thing, which was Jordan Poole and a fit with the team that all stemmed from what happened in the preseason when Draymond Green was caught on camera punching Jordan Poole. So in that same way, in terms of parallels, we've done the Lance Wiseman parallel. The Niners don't want to have this be something that dogs them all year the way the Draymond Jordan Poole dogged the Warriors.
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. That's where we've arrived. And then another piece of this, which a lot of people have, this is where I think the emotion lies in the conversation about whether or not Trey Lance has appropriately had a chance. He obviously has not played enough football games to say he's quote-unquote had a chance. He's also, though, been in 3 training camps now. And the bottom line is the expert eyes that are running the 49ers do not believe that he has worked his way onto the field. And I don't know what to do anymore about that fact. I don't know what to do anymore about the discourse that, like, every time he throws a good pass, it's like Trey has redeemed himself. Yeah, but what about the 8 the 8 plays or the 5 drives that he just conducted that went sideways, and then he has one zip 25 yards downfield, and everyone goes crazy. I get it. He's got some athletic gifts, obviously. At this point, he is not NFL quarterback worthy.
According to the only people that have a say in the matter.
Correct.
And that's where this one, for me, becomes almost a foolish conversation because, you watch Trey Lance, and he makes a great throw, and people who think that Trey is better than Sam or even better than Brock, it's like, see? Trey Lance. Trey's the guy. And those of us, and I will put myself in this camp, who are not huge believers in Trey Lance's ability right now to be a quarterback. He makes a good play. It's like, oh, good for Trey. He makes a bad play, and it becomes confirmation bias. And your opinion, my opinion, the YouTubers, the callers, look, our boss, and everyone else, none of these opinions matter. The only opinion that really matters is Kyle Shanahan and his staff and the people that he trusts to be a part of the decision-making process. So as much as we all want to wring our hands and get mad over what we think, what do we see, Larry Krueger yesterday came on our show and said, the battle for QB2, it's still up for grabs. It's close. It's nip and tuck. And that was more likely his opinion, and his opinion based on the people that he spoke to. When it all comes down today and the news comes out that Sam Darnold is QB2, it's not a decision that you made. Your words and your comments had no bearing on what they did, nor did mine, nor did any YouTuber, nor did any caller, nor did anybody other than Kyle Shanahan and his brain trust. So all the frustrations that we have, I think, should wash away, and now you should put your faith in. You either have faith in Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, or you don't. And if you don't, then if Brock Purdy plays poorly and Sam Darnold sees ghosts, you're going to feel validated. But if you're a Niners fan, that can't feel good if they go 5-12 with injured and bad quarterbacking.
We're presented by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises, 888-957-9570. We want to take as many calls as possible. Joey in the city is next up on this. Hey, Joey, you're on with Willie and Dibby.
Hey, how's it going today?
What's up?
Joey.
Okay, hey, here's what Trey Lance needs to do. He needs to call his agent and say, I'm packing my bag, send me to Washington, and ask for Cornelius Lucas in a trade in return. He's a 10-year veteran, journeyman, backup left tackle. He and Trey have the same exact cap hit and cash outlay. The only difference in the cap hit is $310.50. The Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett as a backup to their 5th-round draft pick from this year, Sam Howell, out of North Carolina. That they're starting. They've named him QB1. Yeah.
Yeah, and Joey, they love it.
No, Joey.
I don't know if you watched him the other day, and I know it's just preseason. They're excited about Sam, number one. So I don't think they're interested in Trey, but my
Joey, you had me at Cornelius Lucas. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you lost
6'8", 327.
You lost me before that, and here's why, Joey.
No, Joey,
honest question
you're hired,
for you,
Joey.
And you're not the only one. I've heard this a lot today. Why does anybody think that Trey Lance right now has the right in the NFL to call anybody and demand anything? Why is that a thing that we're talking about?
It doesn't cost them anything.
Well, but of course it does. Like, it's not right. Like, I don't know if the 49ers don't want that player, and Washington doesn't want this player. But it's not even
everybody wants Cornelius Lucas.
Well,
Mark.
That's not even what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is this idea that we have built up in our mind that because Trey, Joey, thank you very much. Because Trey was drafted 3rd overall, that now means he got cachet. And he's allowed to walk around these parts and start calling some shots. I keep hearing this from people. If I'm Trey, here's what I do. I tell him I'm not coming to practice. And the Niners look at each other and go, so our QB4's not coming to practice? Okay. Well, what does that do to anybody? I'm not even saying this is Trey's fault. He has played 4 games in the NFL, and none of them were very good. He's not in a position to demand anything from anyone. He can be disappointed. That's what Tom Pelissero told us.
Sure.
He can be very bummed, as I think the Niners are, with the way this all went out.
He can't even refuse a trade if the Niners say you're getting dealt to X team. It's not like he has a no trade clause.
And we asked about the relationship between the two sides, and Tom was like, "This is not an FU situation."
Yeah,
the two sides have the utmost respect for one another. The communication has been good,
and they want the exact same thing.
Right. For Trey to be somewhere where he can play, it's not here.
Right. And if it's not here, then they do take a cap hit. But if they cut him, the cap hit is about 3-fold over the next couple of years. So the team doesn't want to cut him, and Trey Lance certainly doesn't want to be cut. He wants to be traded somewhere where he can maybe be QB2 instead of being QB3 or 4.
Or just having a path.
Sure.
Like a path to the field. That's what Trey Lance clearly needs. 49ers aren't seeing it. They don't have that to offer. I just think it's funny, though, that because he was picked 3rd, so many people think he gets to swagger into the room and start demanding things. You don't get to do that in the NFL after 4 games, especially when most of them weren't even very good. You don't get to do that.